Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well as we try to adjust to this new normal of staying home. And today I created using the Makes Me Inspired box from Art Journal Junction. And I am ripping up the book paper which comes in the kit, and I'm going to be working in my regular Dina Wakley Media 8x10 journal. So this is just on a watercolor page, and I haven't done anything to the page yet. I am just simply gluing this paper directly on the page using Distress Collage medium, and I'm just using the nice brush that helps to spread that out. So I've ripped out a bunch of pieces of this book paper in random sizes, and I'm gluing it on just so there's a little bit of book paper everywhere on the page. You could use as little or as much of this as you wanted if you were trying to create this look too, but this is what I went with. And then I'm going to just use the back side of the denim tags which come in the kit, and I'm using it as a mask, and then I'm going to spray with the gloss spray. So the first color I'm using is fuchsia, and then I'm dumping off the extra on the side there because the tag is going to get really coated. Then I'm going in with magenta and doing the exact same thing. Again, dumping off the extra on the black on the mat there. And then the last color I'm going to use is cheddar. And I'm okay with the masks overlapping a little bit. So some of the original mask tag area is going to be covered, and that's okay. And at this point the tag is very wet, so it's starting to curl, so I'm just holding it down with my finger and going to town with that gloss spray. And then I'm dumping off the extra on the side and letting that tag dry. So all that extra gloss spray, there's no sense wasting it. So I'm just getting a piece of scratch paper left over from another project, and I'm just pushing it right into that gloss spray so we don't waste any of it. And I'm going to do this until all that's gone, and then I'm going to wipe it down with a baby wipe. Now that my page has had a chance to dry, I'm going in with white gesso, and I'm just putting little bits of it into the different tags that we masked off, and then I'm rubbing it out with my finger just so that the tag has a little bit more definition. And after the gesso is dried, I'm going in with the smaller denim tag that's included in the kit and the gloss spray in magenta, and I'm also just doing some smaller areas of the tags. Now this has had a chance to dry. It's actually been a couple hours. I had lunch and I'm coming back. And I'm going in with the Posca paint pen in yellow, and I'm just going to do some random doodles. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doodling, you could stamp, you could stencil, you could do whatever. I enjoy doodling, so that's what I'm doing here, and I'm just different scroll patterns, leaves, flowers, anything that just popped in my mind. That's what I'm doing here to fill this space. And after the yellow paint has dried, I'm going to go back in with white to add some definition. So in the end, it has a very layered look because you can still see the yellow. I'm not tracing it exactly. So there's yellow and white, and the white's just helping it pop from the background. So I'm going to just do this on all 4 of the tag areas. Now on a piece of book paper, I'm going to stamp out some flowers. Now if you don't have a flower stamp, you could use stars, a bird, really anything. The point is that you just need a few of the same type of imagery for the layering of this. I mean, you could use the flowers or leaves. You could draw this if you didn't have a stamp. You could stencil. But I'm going to use 2 different sizes of flowers, and this is a Dylusions stamp, and I can't think of the name of the stamp set right now, but I will put a link to it in the description. And I'm stamping it on the book paper and on a piece of Ranger specialty stamp paper. So I have the 2 different types of paper there. And I'm going to cut out all those flowers. And now using my Fude ball pen, I'm just creating a line and some scribbles. And I'm using a journaling block to help me keep that line straight. You could also just freehand this, whatever you feel more comfortable doing. So like I say, I'm just doing some like hash marks on there so it looks like some really rough stitching, like machine stitching. And then I'm just going to do that again, following the same steps, tracing my journaling block, and then scribbling. Now, I didn't realize that my Fude ball pen was running out, so that is why you see me in some portions of this having to go over it a couple times, because the ink in my pen was running low. So hindsight, I should have went and grabbed a different pen, but there we have it. So now I'm just placed all my main elements down so I could see kind of if I needed to add some more lines, and I decided I did, so I'm just adding the third one there on the left. And then I'm adding even more to the main stitching up above. So this is the tag that we used for masks, and it's been allowed to completely dry, and I'm just using an archival ink pad and rubbing some black ink around the outside. And then I'm going to begin gluing in my elements. So a few of them are going to be behind the tag, a big flower and a smaller flower. And then I'm going to glue the tag over the top of those flowers that we glued down already, and I'm using the Dina Wakley Media Ultra Thick Gel to do this. And then I'm going to press that into place. And now because the tag has been placed down, I can begin collaging on top of it. So I'm also going to glue down the smaller denim tag that we used for masking. And I'm going to have that smaller tag going off the right side of the larger tag. And by doing that, I'm creating some dimension in my work. Having elements hanging off of each other looks more interesting. And then I'm just going to keep layering on those flowers. And I'm gluing them down with the Dylusions glue stick. So like this larger flower is going to be hanging off the left side of the big tag. So I'm only putting glue on one half of that flower because the other half is just floating. And then I'm deciding where I want the rest of these elements to go. So I'm going to play around with it a little bit and then say, oh, I like it there, lift it up and put some glue on it. And the last flower I decided to glue to the top of the denim tag, and because it's being glued down to a fabric, I am going to glue that final flower with the Dina Wakley Media Ultra Thick. So as the last step, to just add a little more interest, I'm going to go back in with the Posca paint pen in yellow, and I'm going to color a few of the flowers. And then after I put some down on the page, I'm just using my finger to smudge it out so that there's some bright yellow, some softer yellow, and it's creating dimension within the flower. You could, of course, do this before you glued it down, but I didn't really think about it until after when I was looking at my page and decided it needed something, so hindsight's always 20/20, right? But it worked out just fine doing this right on the page. So now my page is done, and thank you so much for watching. I hope that this inspires you to create your own art journal page, and I'd love to see it, so be sure to post on social media using hashtag #MakesMeInspired. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our future videos and projects. Have a wonderful day.